Hey guys, so today we're going to be looking at more Am I Wrong stories. Yeah, let's just get right into the video. I gave birth around 2 months ago. I'm up a bit more than 10 pounds from my pre-pregnancy weight. I'm in constant pain, barely getting sleep, still recovering. I've been easing back into the gym this past week. My husband and I were showering after having sex, and while feeling me, he said he misses my body and said I used to look so good in sexy clothes and lingerie before. I went quiet, finished my shower, and went to check on the baby. I brought it up later that hurt me and I'm self-conscious and trying. He just shrugged and said it's true. I cried in my car after my workout. He doesn't even work out and he eats garbage. Yup! Oh my gosh, I cannot. Why? Why would he say that? His... Your wife literally just gave birth 2 months ago. How are you going to expect her to bounce back immediately? What? And even if she doesn't want to, you still can't say that. That's a baby that just came out of her. Like, what did you marry her for then? You know what I mean? Like, so he didn't marry her because he loved her? He married her for her body kind of thing? Just solely off of physical attraction? That's messed up. I've been feeling really down about my body since his comment, and I've pulled back from intimacy for a few days. He says I'm weaponizing sex, but I'm just struggling with how I feel about myself right now. She's right. She doesn't have to give him anything. She does not owe him freaking anything. The fact that he shrugged and he didn't even apologize, he should have just been like, no, that's not what I meant. I'm so sorry. Like, no, I didn't mean to hurt your feeling. You're beautiful. You're so beautiful to me. No, he was like, well, it's true. I swear, some people. Selfish. And the fact that he's not even healthy, but he expects his wife to lose all the weight. And 2 months after giving birth, why would you even be having sex? Like, he doesn't really care about her. Doesn't even care about her well-being, her health, her mental health too. He just doesn't care about her. It's just selfish. A bit of background here. I have a brother who I'll call Chase. Chase has been with this girl that I'll call Vivian for almost 2 years now. About a month into the relationship, Vivian got pregnant with my nephew, who's now almost a year old. Vivian also has 2 daughters from a previous relationship. Her daughters are very close in age to my daughter, and up until last weekend, everyone got along fine. They live in different states than us, but come to visit fairly often and stay with us because we have the extra room. Last weekend, they came to stay again, and about half an hour before they left, my daughter noticed that a few of her favorite toys were missing. The girls were playing all weekend, so I didn't think much of it and offered to help her look for them. After about 20 minutes of searching, we could not find the toys anywhere, so I asked Vivian's girls if they remembered where they were playing with them last. The girls said no, but acted a little guilty about it. I asked Chase and Vivian about it, and Chase said he saw the exact toys in the room that Vivian's girls were sleeping in. We went to check and they were not there. He asked Vivian if she had moved them when she packed the girls' things that morning, and she said they were not there. We went back into the living room, and I saw Vivian's girls huddled close together over a backpack, and quickly closed it when they saw we were there. Chase asked the girls again if they knew where the toys were, and this time they didn't say anything and just looked at their mum. Chase reached for the bag and Vivian lost it. She started yelling at me how dare I accuse her daughters of stealing, and she tried to snatch the bag. Chase opened it, and there were the missing toys, plus a few more. I was absolutely furious. I told her I wanted to see what else she had and demanded she open the 2 suitcases. She said that was an invasion of her privacy and tried to take them and leave. Chase stopped her and made her open them. She had taken several tops, a few skirts and dresses, and a brand new pair of Nikes that belonged to my daughter. I took everything back and told her she and the girls were not allowed back into my home. I have since received several texts from her and a few unknown numbers telling me I embarrassed her and upset her girls because they were promised the items. Chase is upset with her, but said I was too mean to her in front of everyone and that I could have handled the situation more privately. I do feel awful that her girls left crying, but am I wrong for how I handled the situation? Oh, hell no. So why is Vivian not parenting her kids? Why is Vivian raising her kids to be thieves? Huh? That's what I want to know. And this person shouldn't feel bad that the kids were crying because they should know the consequences of their own actions. If you're going to steal and you get caught, yeah, there should be consequences. They're lucky that this was just at home kind of thing and they weren't caught stealing at a store. Isn't that crazy? I can't believe Vivian was still defending her kids. You embarrass me. I can't believe you would do that to me. Huh? Parent your kids better. I hope Vivian teaches her kids not to do it again, because if she doesn't, man, her kids are gonna grow up to be terrible people. Like, can you imagine your kids stealing and then you being like, it's okay, it's not your fault, it's her fault. Yeah, their kids are gonna commit more crimes and be like, but my mom said it's not my fault. Crazy, isn't it? Some people, they really just think their kids are right. They don't want to parent. They don't want to teach their kids. Why? Why would you raise your kids to be terrible people? That's what I don't get. My boyfriend and I have been dating for 7 years. Early on, we talked about marriage, kids, a house, the whole shebang. I like kids and I think I'd be a good mother. I like to have children, but I wouldn't be upset if I didn't have any. I'm happy with my life as is, and I could be happy with children as well. My boyfriend has always dreamed of being a dad and recently suggested that we're in the place to start trying for some. I was a little confused by this. I told him early on within the first year that I would never have children with a man that I'm not married to. I feel like children are a much bigger commitment than marriage, so marriage should come first. Additionally, if a man doesn't love me and isn't committed enough to spending the rest of our lives together, I don't see why I wouldn't make the sacrifice of bearing his children. Maybe it's old-fashioned of me. I explained all this to him once again. He was awkward, said he just doesn't want to get married. He said men get screwed over in divorces all the time, and he just doesn't think marriage is important or a smart choice. So he just doesn't trust her enough to marry her because he thinks she's going to screw him over. So why do you want kids with someone who you think could screw you over? That's worse. Are you kidding me? He wants kids, but he doesn't want to get married? He has his priorities all wrong. Why would you want kids but don't want to commit to a marriage? What? Like, at least for marriages, you can still get a divorce. But once you have a kid, you can't freaking push the kid back into the womb. I'm so confused. And if he was rich, then he could just sign a prenup, right? Protect his assets, as he should. But you should still give a woman her dignity. And I'm not saying you have to get married and then have kids, because a lot of people don't nowadays, and that's fine. Maybe they don't believe in marriage, but this person, the person that he wants to have kids with, believes in marriage. So shouldn't he respect that if he wants her to bear his kids? I said, that's fine, we don't have to get married. I'm happy with our life as is. We just won't be buying a house together or having children together. We can each buy our own house and live in one and rent out the other. If we aren't getting married, I don't really want to entangle our finances in any way. He blew up at me and said I'm punishing him for not wanting marriage. I said I'm not. Just that having children outside of marriage goes outside of my personal values. Honestly, same. Because why would you even want kids with someone who doesn't want to commit to you lifelong? Like, huh? No, I don't want that. I also told him that since he's super against the idea of marriage, I'm not going to marry him just for a shut-up ring that he only gives me because he wants kids. I want him to actually want to marry me, and if not, that's okay. Children and marriage are off the table for us. If he wants kids now, he needs to leave and find someone who will have kids for him without expecting any stability in return. And maybe I could find someone who wants to marry me, and maybe or maybe not have kids. I said all of this to him. He's been very distressed and emotionally distraught. He has a disease that very much so limits his life expectancy. He said that if he doesn't have kids as soon as possible, he probably shouldn't have them at all, because otherwise he wouldn't be able to see them into adulthood. Wait, then shouldn't that be more of a reason for him to want to marry her, because he knows he's not gonna live long? So shouldn't he put all that energy into loving this person and loving the kids that he will have? If that's what he really wants? I'm confused. I don't get what he wants. He just wants kids because he feels like he's not going to be able to live long. But in a way that sounds selfish, right? Knowing that you won't be able to live long and you're going to leave your kids fatherless. In a way, it does seem selfish because he knows about it. I think if he doesn't want to get married, he should just enjoy his life as is with this person, for sure. I feel like bringing kids into this world is such a big thing. You don't just be like, I want to bring kids into this world because I'm not going to live long. No. You'd want to bring kids into this world because you love your partner and you want to start a family with them. Not just because you want kids. But anyways, I just feel like the guy's very selfish for this. Because he's like, I want kids with you, but also I want to be able to take care of them when I'm sick. So you have to take care of the kids and me. But also, we're not going to get married. So he's not giving her the title of a wife, but he wants her to do all this for him. That's not okay. It really isn't. And let's say they do have kids and they're not married. Once they break up, what are the kids going to do? See, people never think about the kids afterwards. It's always like, well, I want this, so I'm gonna do this. But like, long term, you have a kid, you're responsible for the kid. You're also responsible for the kid's well-being and their mental health, right? You want them to grow up well. You don't want them to grow up with a broken household. Obviously, if that happens and you can't help it, then it happens. But if you know that it might lead to it in the future, it's just not right to have kids. Because I feel like this guy is just so uncertain about being with this person, right? Because why would you want kids and not want to marry someone? That's what I don't get. Like, if he wants to protect his assets, like I said, he could get a prenup. Right? Everyone can agree on things. As a woman, I wouldn't plan to have kids with someone if they weren't going to wife me up. Right? For sure, if we suddenly have a kid and it was like an accident, right? Then that's fine. What's happened has happened, and I would try my best to give the kid a good life. But if it's going to be like a planned pregnancy, then for sure I would want to be married. Well, that's it for the video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Tell me in the comments down below what your thoughts are. And as always, thanks for watching. Hope you guys liked it, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!